Back when Fordia was wild, when it consisted of something but pimento tree and mosquito so big they could fly away with you. Miss Franny Block started in, and I was just a little girl, no bigger than you. My father, Herman W. Blocks, told me that I could have anything I want for me birthday. Anything at all. Miss Franny looked around the library. She leaned in close to me. I don't want to appear prideful, she said, but my daddy was a very rich man. A very rich man, she nodded and then leaned. Back and says, and I was a little girl who loves to read. So I told him, I said, Daddy, I would most certainly love to have a library for my birthday. A small little library would be wonderful. You ask for a whole library, a small one, Miss Franny nodded. I want a little house full of nothing but books and I want to share them too. And I got my wish. My father built me this house, the very one who he are sitting in now, and at a very young age I became a librarian, she murmured. What about the beat? I said. Did you? I mentioned that California was in third day. Miss Franny Blocks says, you him. It was might there were men when wild women and wild animals. Yes, Mama. That's right. Now I have to tell you. I want a little miss. No, it all was a miss smartly passed with my library full of books. Oh, yes, Mama. I thought the answer to everything. Well, on her hot Thursday, I was sitting in my library with all the doors and windows open and my nose stuck in a book. When I shadow crossed the desk and without looking up, yes, Mama, without even looking up, I said, is there a book I can help you find? Well, there was no answer, and I thought it might have been a wild man or a wild woman, scared of at all these books and and afraid to speak up. But then I became aware of a very personal smell, a very strong smell. I raised my eyes slower, and standing right in front of me was a bear. Yes, Mama, I a very large bear. How big? I asked. Oh, well, says Miss Franny, perhaps 3 times she's nice of your dog. Then what happened? I asked her. Well, as well, says Miss Franny. I looked at him and and sleep as he was trying to decide if a little Miss Know It All librarian was right. He was in the mood to eat, and I sat there, and then I thought, well, if this bear is test to eat me, I am not going to let it happening without a fight. No, Mama. So very slowly and very carefully I raised up the book I was reading. What book was that? I asked. Why, it was War and Peace, a very large book. I raised it up slowly and then I made it carefully, and I threw it right at the bear and screamed, "Be gone!" And do you know what? No, Mama, I said. He went, but this is what I will never forget. Took the book with him. No, I says. Yes, Mama, says Miss Franny. He snapped it up and ran. Did he come back? I asked. No, I never saw him again. Well, man in town used to tease me about it. They used to say, Miss Franny, we saw that bear of yours off in the wood today. He was reading that book and he says it sir was good and would it be all right if the kept it for just another keep? Yes, Mama, they did tease me about it. She sighed. I'm that only one left from those days. I imagine I'm the only one that even recalled that bear. Oh, my right. Everyone I knew when I was young, they are all dead and gone. She sighed again. She looked sad and old and wrinkled. It was the same way. I felt something being friends in a new town and not having Mama to comfort me. I sighed too. Winn-Dixie raised his head off his paws and looked back and forth between me and Miss Franny. He sat up then and showed Miss Franny his teeth. Well, now look at that, she says. That's down smiling at me. It's a talent of his, I told her. It is a fine talent, Miss Franny says. I very fine talent, and she smiled back at Winn-Dixie. We could be right, I says to Miss Franny. I means you and me and Winn-Dixie. We could all be friends. Miss Franny smiled even bigger. Why, that would be grand, she asked. She says just grand. And right at that minute, right when the three of us has decided to be friends, who should come marching into the Command W block memorized library but old pinch-faced Amanda Wilson. She walked right up to Miss Franny's desk and says, I finished Johnny Terman and I enjoy it very much. I would like something even more difficult to write now because I want an advanced reader. Yes, dear, I know, says Miss Franny, so got out of her chair. Amadi pretended like I wasn't there. She stared right past me. All dogs alone in the library, she asked Miss Franny as they walked away. Curtain on, says Miss Franny. A big few, and then she turned around and winkled at me. I smiled back. I had just made my first friend in Namio, and nobody was going to mess that up for me. Not even old pinch faces. Amanda Wilson.